Good morning, Mr. Terry. Welcome to Hump Day Hay Wednesday. Hey, that even rhymes.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just made that up on the fly. I should be a rapper, man.
I think you should. Yeah, you do a good job.
Oh, yeah. That was probably about the only good rhyme I've ever made. Right now, I can envision that Snoop Dogg commercial where they're on the beach and the pale, pasty, white guy is making up a rap. And he's like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Really bad. I can see that I'd be part of that commercial right now myself. So yesterday we did parks. We had a pretty good day overall. I think both of us ended up with a positive ROI. Is that right?
That's right. You had 17.5% profit, and I had around 14%. So
not bad. So I think I bet about $80 or something like that.
You did, yeah. I bet 100. So
not bad. So we made a little bit of a profit. Profit's always a good thing, right?
It is. Indeed. Absolutely.
Well, hopefully we can profit today at Gulfstream Park, where the weather is beautiful. The track is fast and the dirt is firm, if I remember correctly. Is that right, Terry?
Yep, that's true.
Yes, indeed, that is true. Well, it's South Florida. It's always going to be nice weather down there. Unlike you're getting another rain bomb, right?
We are. It's raining like crazy. So,
yes. Well, what are you going to do? We can't control the weather, but we can control our picks. Also, the people who won last night spent a little time with JD Acosta and Sean and Julie with another fun interview. It was a good time, except it looked like he was in a hostage situation with the lighting.
It's true, yeah. And he kept going in and out, blanking out. And I think he was driving. So
I don't know if he's driving, but I think somebody else was driving. It looks to me like maybe he was driving. We don't want to tell him the world he was driving and podcasting at the same time.
Yeah, probably wasn't.
Yeah, no. He's a law-abiding, good citizen, good jockey as well.
Cute little girl he has, though. That little girl's cute.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to beat her dad as a jockey. That's what she said.
Well, you know what? A lot of times you read about these kids with, dreams as children, and they grow up and they actually make them happen.
That's right.
Once you get that in your heart, you just follow it, so to speak, and you can get to where you want to go. You are echoing a little bit today, Terry.
Okay.
Tonight, to make sure that you don't want to miss tonight's show at 8 o'clock Eastern, again with Julie and Sean, they're going to have on one of the most successful young jockey agents out there, and Jose Santos Jr., Santos Incorporated. That's exactly what he looks like. If you have any ideas about becoming a jockey's agent, or you have any questions regarding that, certainly make sure you tune in for that and find out what happens in terms of that jockey agent relationship and how they work and interact with owners and trainers. I think it could be a very insightful conversation, Terry. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it will be. Yeah, I really love the shows at night. I try to watch it every single night. And good morning, Melvin.
Good morning, Melvin. How are you today, my friend? If, like Melvin, you have some ideas you want to share today with us, just want to say hi, throw some questions at us, see what it is we are thinking about today, we'd be certainly glad to entertain any of that stuff. All right, Terry, you ready to get going today?
Yep, let's go.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Right, that's what everybody says nowadays. We got to come up with something different than just let's go. All right, race 1 is a mile and a 16th on the turf. It's a maiden claiming for $20,000. The purse is $28,000. As I mentioned, the turf is firm today over at Gulfstream Park. And at a mile and a 16th, the type of horse that typically wins on the turf track, there's really not much of a speed bias. You can be in the front, you could be in the middle, you can be in the MAC. And there's a little bit of a rail edge. So Bullet Valentina, maybe a little bit of extra giddy up and go today. But overall, it plays pretty fair. Terry, yesterday we introduced our C zone. Bullet Valentina won't get to take advantage of that rail bonus. But what were your initial thoughts on Z zone yesterday?
Oh, I liked it really a lot. It did really well. I mean, I think it's something that you should really use in your handicapping as a advantage, give you an advantage there, because if it keeps doing like it did yesterday, it's going to really be powerful.
Well, I think one of the things I noticed yesterday, maybe you didn't predict the winner, though most of the time the winner did have a pretty good Z-zone score, or at least had a good chance to be in. What it is basically is when you look back at its best performances, where the horse was relative to the leader at the quarter-mile marker. And if the horse has a good trip, it's going to have a high percentage to get that same sort of trip today. So The higher that number, the higher the percentage is the chance horse is going to get something that mirrored a previous winning trip, the best 2 races in the last 10. And one of the things I noticed, I think could really be helpful is maybe picking prices for the back end of your exactas and trifectas, because I noticed a lot of horses that had good C-zone scores were going off at some decent odds, finishing second and third. Did you see the same thing?
I did, yeah. That was very evident to me. So,
All right, but we also do simulated odds, which is 1,000 simulations using speed figures, and then 1,000 simulations using early pace numbers to determine where the horses will be at the quarter-mile marker and which horses might offer you some betting value, Terry. Any nuggets here?
Yeah, well, you see there, the 9's got the most, the highest percentage getting to the quarter pole. And I think, unless he has a trouble, that's what's going to happen. And then the 5 and the 4 also have some. As far as overlays go, there's a small overlay, a large overlay on the 4. He's supposed to be like, just over even money, and he's 15-1 on the morning line. And then there's a small overlay on the number 10. He's supposed to be close to 2-1, and he's listed at 3-1.
It definitely looks like there's some value to be found in the opener at Gulfstream Park. I have some value in my picks here too, Terry, once we get started with that. But before we go that route, let's take a look at what our our race shape looks like. The horses over here, this is the speed horses. These are your closers across there. So on the left, they want to be closer to the front. On the back, they want to be towards the back. The 8 horse is a never been close horse, so maybe you can just toss that one out of your picks. The 5 horse in here is a closer that might, because of its early pace, be more forwardly placed. It's interesting to see. When you look at a race like this, you got the bulk of the horses in the middle, so I would expect one from the front or maybe from the back to have the best opportunity to get the score here, Terry. Who do you think's taking home the prize in race 1?
Well, I like the 9, Rita Marga. She's tried turf in her last race, and she seemed to really like it as she finished 3rd versus similar. And she has a high percentage winning jockey. Then number 10 is my second pick. She finished 3rd versus similar in her last race, has a high percentage winning jockey in it also. And then number 4 is my 3rd pick. She finished 3rd on an all-weather track in her last start, has the highest last race speed rating, and has jockey Chantel Sutherland in the irons, who's been doing really well here in the recent past. And then number 5 is my long shot, Martinez Amica. Yeah, she finished 4th versus similar in her last race after hitting the gate coming out at the start, so she had some problems. And her best turf speed is fastest among today's starters. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 5. I'm going to use the 9-10 with the 1-3, with the 7-9, with the 6-7, and then finishing up with the 1-4-5.
Now, we have all sorts of things going on. We got simulators. We have C-zone scores. We have $100 budgets. Terry, we're juggling a lot of balls at once here for sure. I'm going to start like you, Rita Marga, as my top choice in here. Had a lot of company up front in its last race, was racing between horses. I think is likely to get a easier lead here. And if you remember a couple of days ago, we had Murder Hornet. That horse came back to win with Emma Jane Wilson on it. And guess what? Rita Marga was in that race and beat Murder Hornet substantially. So let's see if we can get a double bang from a Murder Hornet. Number 5, Martinez Amica. It is that left arrow horse that we saw in the Way to the Winner's Circle worksheet. Was in the same race as that 9 horse last out, Terry, that you mentioned, that the 5 horse hit the gate. But if you look at that race, he was closing at 7.5 furlongs, has 2 maintenance workouts since then, and running the extra distance from 7.5 furlongs to 1 mile and a 16th. If that last race was 1 mile and a 16th, it would have absolutely passed the 9 horse. The question for me is, will the little bit easier pace benefit the 9, or will the 5, if it gets a cleaner trip, still be able to run by the 9? Number 10, Ramadan, was stuck wide in her last race, likely to get a similar trip here today. It's a bunch of similar pace horses in the middle, but probably the best of them. If it can get closer to the front, I think has a real legitimate shot to maybe take this one. Probably should be ranked a little bit higher, but I just feel like the outside post and some similar type horses to the inside could force it wide again today. And then finally, number 3, Kit Can Run. This one has, I think, the most upside potential in the field with only 3 races. It did run a Z pattern. I'm going to do a $1 exacta key box. Terry, make sure I get the nomenclature right all the time. Otherwise, I'll be spending a lot more money. But I'm going to put the 5 with the 3, 9, and 10. So that means the 5 can either win with the 3, 9, and 10 or second, or the 3, 9, and 10 in first with the 5 in second. So I'm going to focus my bet around the price horse in my picks here, Terry. Good morning, Melvin. Melvin's got his pick 5. So he likes the 2 and the 9. Neither one of us have the 2 in that first leg, both liking the 9. The 1, the 2, and the 3 in race number 2, followed by the 7, 5, and 9, and 8. Then the 2, 5. And then in race 5, singling up the 5 there. So good luck with that, Melvin. If you have a pick 5, or better yet, coming up in race number 3, Terry, what do we got in race 3 that people can look forward to?
A nice pick 6. And I think the, is it around 400,000 or something?
It's like 410 before any money comes in. Yeah.
Yeah. So they usually grow pretty good when they're getting up that high. So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it touches 7 figures, to be honest with you. We'll see though. Race number 2 is 1 mile on the dirt, claiming 6,250. Non-winners of 3 lifetime. The purse here is 19 grand. 6 furlongs on that dirt track, 1 mile on that dirt track. Favors early speed. 28% of the horses, Terry, go wire to wire. Post 1 through 7, they play fair. 8 and out's a little bit of a bonus. Don't think 8 and out comes into play today, Terry. Speed is a big factor in race number 2, Terry. And according to our simulator, the 5 scratching really benefits Bullet on Tap.
That's right. It looks like to me that, the only one that really has the speed is that 2 horse. He should get there with no problem at all. And then as far as
I think you meant the 1 there, Terry. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the 1. I meant the 1. And as far as the overlays go, it looks like the 3 has a pretty nice overlays. A little bit minor, but that's about it. No others. But you look over here at the Z zone or Z zone. I
kind of like the Z zone if we can find a good reason to make the Z mean winners. Yeah, we can have Z. Winners with a Z.
Yeah. Well, everything but the 3 has a pretty high percentage in that C zone. So
it means every horse minus the 3 horse should get the trip it wants. I think the reason why the 3 horse ranks so lowly is against some of the other horses that it's faced. It's been a little bit further back than it's likely to be today. So, it's going to be closer to the front, which I think is actually a plus, Terry. But we haven't got that plus in there yet. That's the next 2.0 C zone. 5 is out. Again, I think that's a significant scratch because could have provided some of the speed along with the 1 and the 6. Most of these horses want to be middle or back, Terry. That means this 1 horse up front could get a trip very much to its liking. I think that's going to put it in the winner's circle. You think the 3 horse is going to beat my 1?
Yeah, I do. I think that 3 is going to win. She finished 3rd versus Tougher on an all-weather track in her last race. She drops in class today, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and she should improve while returning to dirt. 1, your horse, Bullet on Tap's my second choice. Won her last race at Gulfstream Park, has the highest last race speed rating, and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then number 2, Katie's Dream Girl, is my 3rd pick, drops in class today. She is 1 for 1 at this distance, so she likes the distance. And number 4 is my long shot. She finished 3rd versus similar in her last race, and she has a good 4th furlong workout on the March 16th. I'm going to play a pick 4, 50 cent. I'm going to use that 1 and 3. I'm going to use the 7, 9 in the 3rd race. And then I'm going to use the 6, 7 in the 4th race. And the 5th race, I'm going to finish up with a 1, 4, 5.
Got a lot of similar thinking across there. We both did a hot dog pick 4 in the 2nd race here. I like the 1 horse in there. I do think it's going to get Bullet on Tap that lead. I don't think it's ever going to give it up. That's what I think it's going to happen. If you read the comments, little thing I learned yesterday that I didn't learn, I just forgot. And, one of the good things about picking up books that you have and rereading them is it triggers things that you probably used to do that you've kind of fallen out of habit of. One of the things in the Betting Thoroughbreds from David Davidovitz, I think Stephen Davidovitz, good book to get. You get it on Amazon. Is he talked about when you're going through your picks to go back to like Equibase and you can look at the horse's chart. So you just look up the horse. It'll show you its past results. You hit the chart and then read the comments for the horse to get a sense of what that trip was like. And in this 3 horse, really wasn't asked to do anything in that last race until the very end. And it still improved its 7 furlong time compared to the previous time it ran at 7 furlongs by about 3 seconds. So that's a pretty big improvement there. Number 3, Cap Ridley, does have a very strong late pace advantage versus this field. Caught some slowest fractions in its last race, but does like the fast dirt. 9 times out, 2 wins, a fourth, 2 fourths, and a third. At the distance, 6 times out, 1 win, 4 seconds. So one that likes to finish second. And the one time at the distance it did not finish in the money, it was forced way, way out the track. So we should get a better trip with the inside post and a short field today. Number 4, Little Belita. Last race was probably a lot better than it looks on paper. Had a very wide trip, but still managed to run faster fractions at 4 and 6 furlongs. And that was at a mile compared to 7 furlongs in the previous start. And then finally, Katie's Dream Girl. As you mentioned, Terry, won its only 1 mile dirt race at Gulfstream Park. Did so with ease. It's going to drop in class today here and does have the best Gulfstream Park dirt numbers in this field. That actually came in that 1 mile race. I, too, am going to do a pick 4, 1-3 with the 5-7, with the 1-4 and 6, the 4 and 5 on the back end. Whew, that book is a really good book. If you haven't gotten it, I would absolutely 1000% recommend it. A lot of good basic stuff in there. And again, I do think it has the best appendix for wagering strategy out of any book I've ever read. Stephen Davidovitz, Betting Thoroughbreds, can get it at Amazon. We don't get a penny for it. Race number 3, we should get pennies for all the stuff that we promote around here, Terry. 5.5 furlongs, maiden claiming $12,500. Again, on the dirt course, the purse is $21,000. As you can imagine, 5.5 furlongs on that fast Gulfstream Park track is going to favor speed at 51%, Terry. That's a big, big number. Half of the fields win going wire to wire. It doesn't matter what post position you get. Only matters that you're fast, Terry. So in our simulator for race number 3, it says that 9 horse is the fastest of the fast.
Yeah, it sure does. And, if there's no problems for getting out of that gate and nobody takes that horse really wide, that horse should really show the most speed and get to that quarter pole. And then as far as the overlays go, it looks like the 4 has a pretty nice overlay. It's supposed to be like 7-2, and it's listed at 12-1 on the morning line. So that's pretty nice. And then if you look over on the Z zone, most of those horses are comfortable except for the 2, 3, and 5. They look like if they get the race they usually get for this kind of race, they'll do well. So
yeah, it looks like if they get the right setup, a lot of these horses could be comfortable. I think the 5 is another case of a horse that could be more forwardly placed. We'll see how that works out. This is the start of the pick 6, which right now has a carryover like about 410,000. That number is going to go up for certain. So let's say for sure it'll be at least $500,000. We're going to take a crack at trying to hit that one, Terry. But before we make our picks and tell you what we like in that pick 6, this race has a pretty interesting setup as well. You have pretty much everybody that wants to be in the front. You got one that wants to be in the back, and then you got a bunch of horses in here that are either first-time starters or have never been close, and then a scratch. So the question is, the winner should really come from this group right here. Forget those never close type horses. With all this speed up in here, that might set up really nicely for that 5 as the lone closer, because if the 3 leaders burn each other out, that 5 is going to be sitting pretty unless the first-time starter has something to offer, Terry. How do you see it playing out? Speed or closers?
Well, I've got it with speed with the 7 Oasis Jack. I think she's a closer, right? She finished third versus, a speed horse.
She'll be up front.
Yeah, she finished third versus similar in her last race. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, switches to high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The jockey's won 10 out of the last 36 mounts in the last 14 days or so.
Must be IRAD, huh?
Yeah. And then number 9 is out for myself. Should be the second pick. Should improve. Shorter distance has a good 3 furlong workout. Tons getting in my way. Number 5 is my third pick. Drops in class today and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Law Machine, the long shot, number 8, finished third versus similar in her last race, has the highest last race speed rating, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Now I'm going to play a dollar daily double, and I'm going to key the 7 and then take it with the 1, 4, 6, and 7. I'm also paying a
So you only have the
20
4, 6, and 7 here. So do you want to add the 1?
I do, yes.
Okay, let's just make sure we add that in there.
Okay.
It's a great thing about being able to do things on the fly, my man. Real time.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to play a 20-cent pick 6. I'm going to play the 7 with the 6, 7, and then the 1, 4, 5, and then the 1, 2, 3. I'm going to single the 6, and then I'm going to finish up with the 3, 5, 7.
All right. In this race 3, that does kick off that nice pick 6 carryover. I like the Oasis Jack as my top pick as well. Could be on the lead, probably going to be on the lead, although it does look like the 9 horse has the best chance there. 2 really nice workouts between the races. I think the switch to IRAD means probably no chance this horse is going to go off at 2-1, even though it looks like the fair odds are close to 3-1. So you're unlikely to get fair odds for the 7 horse. Wolf Rayette, the 5 horse. First go around on dirt for the lone PC horse in this field, and it's also a class dropper. What gives me some hope is if you look through the dirt workouts, there's one on New Year's Eve at Palm Meadows, 4 furlongs and 47 and 4, hints at some dirt ability. So this horse maybe has the most chance to surprise here. It is that lone PC. The 1 horse, Sally Seville. To me, it's beyond notable that Tyler Gaffleone gets off that 9 horse out for Mischief, one that should be competitive, has a good chance to win. That 9 horse last time out was the 7-5 favorite, showed some speed, and then he's going to get on off of that horse for a first timer with blah workouts. Something's going on there, or I completely misread that situation. And then finally, number 9 was a really tough call for me over the 8 horse. Both have very similar early pace and will press for the lead, but both have faded under pressure, particularly in their last one. I think the edge here for the 9 over the 8 could be the second time Lasix here versus the 8 had Lasix in all of its races so far. So perhaps, we've heard from a lot of jockeys and trainers that they prefer second Lasix over first Lasix. I'm going to do a really inexpensive pick 6, Terry. I'm going to single the 7 in the first leg, single the 6 in the second leg, 4-5 with the 1-3-5 with the 2-6, the 2-5, 7, and 9. And I think mine cost under $10. I don't know. Was yours probably under $10 too?
No, mine was $10.80. I think yours was $9 and something. So.
I think $9.80. So yeah, you went ahead and spent one whole more dollar than I did, Terry. All right, let's kind of rewind back to race number 1 because it looks like they're about to kick off race number 1. In race number 1, Terry, again, we both like the 9, as do the bettors. The race is off and running right now. And as it looks right now, the 8 horse has the one that has taken the lead here. According to our simulator, that wasn't going to happen. So a little bit of a surprise there. On the outside, you have, looks like the 10 horse to me, Ramadan in second place. On the rail, the 4 horse, the one that Chantel is riding, if I remember correctly, Kilkenny Abaya is in third, just a little bit behind the 10 horse on the rail as they go through the opening quarter, 24.06, so about 24 seconds. A little bit on the quick side, I think, for this level. We'll find out if that's the case. The 9 horse, our favorite horse there, Terry, that you and I picked, is kind of getting into the mix a little bit, running 5th right now. To its outside is the 3 horse, Kit Can Run, which is a horse that was maybe going to be more forwardly placed as they head into the opening half in 48 and 62. So we'll pretty slowed it down a little bit, but not a whole lot. To the 3's outside is the 5 horse, Martinez Amica. That's the one I've kind of keyed my picks around, kind of taking a look at the way the horses are moving right now. The 9 horse is clearly moving the best. My 5 horse is making a move, but probably not going to get there. The 2 horse is really storming up the rail there. Got a lot of energy for that 2 horse. The rail just opened up. I think the 2 horse is going to be a whole lot of problems there for that 9 horse. Could be. Then you have on the outside, that 2 horse, Terry, just rolled right on by, a horse that neither one of us had. Country Jewel, that's the horse that, if you remember, Melvin had in his pick 5. It's going to come home for the win. It's going to go 2, 9, 4, and 5. 2, 9, 4, and 5. And that 2 horse went off at 8-1. Phenomenal. Great call there, Melvin. Hopefully you played that 2 horse. How was that race call, Terry? You feel like I'm getting better?
Yeah, it was very good. Very good. Yeah. And actually that 2 had to hold up a little bit coming into the stretch because didn't get an opening until they were out of the turn. So that shows he was pretty good.
Yeah, indeed. Good morning, DC Capper. How you doing today, my friend? Thanks for joining us today. Melvin, yes, indeed. You got that 2-horse. Beautiful, beautiful pick right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to get started, my friend. Hopefully,
hopefully,
Terry and I can join in on that fun as the card moves on.
yeah, I hope he played an exacta there.
Yeah, well, he paid the pick 5. He said he started with the 2 and the 9. So good call there. He's off to a good start with a good price. And hopefully you carry the next 4 races home, because whenever you started off with a nice pick like that, you wipe out a lot of people early on, because I feel like a lot of people do their singling and stuff early and late. So you can probably wipe out a lot of cards in there as well. All right, Terry, race number 4. And then we'll get to that part a little bit later on. Race 4 is 1 mile, claiming 6,250. Non-winners of 2 lifetime. That purse there, Terry, is 19 grand. 1 mile, as we talked about on the dirt course, does favor early speed with 28% going wire to wire. Post positions 1 through 7 play a little fair. 8 and out, you do catch a little bit of a bonus. Once again, I don't think that comes into play today. In race number 4, looking at the early speed, Terry, where speed matters, that 5-horse Nature Boy, Rick Wonder, woo! It's going to be on the lead.
Absolutely. And also he's got a really good C-zone number there. So
Rick Flair, right? Not Rick Wonder. He's the Wonder Boy. Rick Flair. Never mind.
Yeah. Anyway, and there's a small overlay from the simulated odds on the 2. It's supposed to be like 9-2, and it's listed at 6-1 on the morning line. And then there's a nice overlay from 3-1 on that number 4-horse to 5-1. Look at the overlay on Nature Boy, though, that 5. It's really nice. 2-1, and it's listed at 8-1 on the morning line. So
neither one of us have him, which is really scaring the hell out of me. He's 8-1. He's going to get a great trip, going to be on the lead where speed wins. What were we thinking, Terry? Well, we'll find out.
We weren't thinking that.
Yeah, we weren't, apparently. Something's amiss upstairs. All right. So, yeah, you got plenty of speed here with a couple of closers back in here as well. The 4-horse, indeed, the best of the 2 closers. So that probably the one. All but the one have very similar early pace and late pace combinations. So very competitive field. So many times, Terry, you've seen me talk about this in the past. When you have speed, closers, and just one in the middle, that one in the middle, no matter what happens, typically gets, no matter what it looks like on paper, many, many, many times, no matter what the odds say, no matter what the past performances say, that guy gets a good trip. So the 2 horses in here that I should have, I don't have, and I'm going to probably feel dumb when this race is over. But what do you see happening?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm going to take a closer. Krypton 7 drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer. Has a trainer who wins 23% of the races when he brings a horse back in a claiming race. And then number 6, Mr. Cellular. He won his last race at Gulfstream Park and has a high percentage winning trainer. My 3rd pick, Stream of Blessings, the 4-horse. Hit the gate in the last race and finished poorly. But, that's kind of an excuse. You don't know. Sometimes it really gets those horses a problem. Drops in class today, can improve while returning to a route, and switches to a high percentage winning jockey. And then I like the 1 is my long shot, has a high percentage winning trainer. And the trainer jockey combination of the last 14 days have been in the money 100% of the time and won 2 out of 3 starts. And then no bet for me in this race.
Yeah, I think that's Jose Delgado and Chantel finally heating up a little bit. Their jockey-trainer relationship really kicking it off. Number 6, Mr. Cellular, for me, did win that maiden claiming 12-5 in its 8th try last out with the top last race speed figure. Totally not a fan usually of maiden claiming risers, unless, according to Barry Meadows and all his research and a skeptical handicapper, if you're a statistics person, another book that you got to get if you're a horse player. And that was its first try on dirt at 1 mile, just like today. It actually ran a Z pattern in that race, so it had a nice early pace, kind of took a little bit of a breather in the second part, second wind down the stretch. Like to see that. That Mundo mix, the one we talked about, Chantel and Mr. Delgado. Second off the claim for Mr. Delgado. It's a 25% angle. This one, its MO has been speed and then stop. The last 2 works are really nice. It was the 6-5 favorite in its last. And one of these days, Mundo Mix is not going to stop and pay off at nice odds. I'm hoping that's today, Terry. Number 4, Dreams of Blessings has that late pace advantage as we talked about. Upgrades to jockey Jose Ortiz at a distance where his only win came in just 2 races. My concern about the 4-horse Terry is not necessarily hitting the gate last time or a bad trip. It's that this horse is the only 3-year-old versus a field of 4-year-olds. And that 1-year difference for these horses at this age can be enough of a difference to make to show up on the track. And finally, the 7, Krypton, your top pick, does indeed have the most backlash in here, Terry. In the 2 of the 3 races that it ran on dirt, the horse was indeed the favorite. And in the 3rd one, which was its debut race, it was also well bet. So clearly the horse players think it has some dirt talent. I'm going to do my standard trifecta 1, 4, 6 over the 1, 4 with the 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7. Mr. Terry. Oof, race number 5 is what we're going to do next in this 8 race card. And for race number 5, Terry, we're looking at a race that is 1 1/16 mile, just like the opener on the turf course. Again, at 1 1/16 on the turf course, there's no advantage to running style. There's really no advantage to post position, Terry. I think about 14% of the horses go wire to wire, which is probably about normal. You get to the lead, you got a shot. It looks like a couple of them will compete for the lead, but Nantasket Beach is the one that probably really benefits from Master of None sitting on the sidelines today.
It sure does. It's got the most speed according to what we see here, but the 9 and the 1 will give it a little bit of competition, I would believe. And the 4 has a nice overlay. It's supposed to be a little bit over even money, and he's listed at 92 on the morning line. Also, if you look at the C zone, the 2's got a pretty nice high amount, and also the 9 does. So we'll just have to see. The 5's 15% almost.
Let's go back to that 1 horse and see what that 2 horse was. Look at that there, Terry. Second choice in C zone behind the 4 horse. How about that? This is something I think I'm really going to begin to really focus a little bit more on in my handicapping. That's and it's the only place you can get that here. Pick 4 in race number 2 for Melvin, who got that 2 horse in that opener there. So did C zone. Following his pick 5, he likes the 1, 2, 3 in the upcoming race 2, 5, 7, 8, and 9 in race 3, the 2, 5 in race 4, and then singling up that 5 in the race we're in right now, Terry, race number 5. Our way to the winner's circle worksheet for race 5. Funny, last night when I was doing this, Terry, I was going through this and I'm saying, wait, this looks so much like race number 1. It's because I was doing race number 1, so to scratch it all out. 7 horses gone. That means this 5 horse is really going to get an overemphasis on its early speed. It has a +8 advantage through the first half mile. This guy is going to be up front. Everybody else is going to be chasing. The 9 does have a plus late pace advantage, Terry. So maybe the one of the closers with the most late legs. Again, some horses we don't have in our picks. The 5 is the single for Mr. Melvin in his pick 4. Terry, it's your second choice and my second choice.
Yeah, I like the 4 as my first choice, experienced. He drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 28% of the races in claiming races. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. The 3, Nantasket Beach. She finished 3rd versus similar in his last start. It's a he, I'm sorry, and has a high percentage winning jockey. And then number 1 is Street Vendor. He has a high percentage winning jockey who in the last 7 days has been in the money 19 out of 36 starts. Number 2 is my long shot Smart Striker. He finished in the money in 2 out of his 4 career races. He won 1 of those, and he tries turf for the first time, so we'll have to see how he does. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 1, 4, 5 with the 1, 2, 3 with the 2, 6.
So you have the 4 there. So you want the 3?
Yes.
I 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Oh, I think the 4 got scratched, did it not? Yeah.
Probably did. 1, 2, 3. I'll put the 3 in there. Okay, go ahead. We got it. So 1, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. 2, 6 with the 3, 5, 7.
Beautiful. You know, it's funny, Terry, I got to say, my man, we have kind of like, they say owners begin to look like their dogs or vice versa. You kind of assume. Terry's getting to be he's getting to be a hot dog pick 4 player. I don't know if I'm the good angel on your shoulder or the bad angel on your shoulder, but you'll have to decide that. But I'm good. I'm happy to see you playing those hot dog pick 4s, my friend. Or is that just because I limit you to $100?
No, it's not. I've actually learned a lot doing this show, and the fact that if you really look at the pick fours play, there's not a lot of them that pay real big. Most of them pay, anywhere from, I don't know, $50 to 300. And in the past, I used to bet quite a bit more on the pick four. I'm finding that I'm doing better just betting a lot smaller. And if I hit that pick four, it works out pretty well. And of course, I don't lose as much money then. So
when you
I'm
don't
kind
hit
of
it,
moving
right?
away from them. I'm moving back to what I used to do a lot, which was wins and exactas. So doubles.
Yeah, for me, I've always played kind of hot dog. And I think one of the reasons why maybe we do better is because it forces us to eliminate some horses from our picks and then come up for reasons why one might beat the other. So a little bit more focused maybe in terms of our selection. I've always been a hot dog player. It's because again, my good friend Joe G's dad, man, he really imparted on me, a professional blackjack player. You got to bet the minimum amount of money for the maximum payout. And that's why I've always done hot dogs. I like the 4-horse Experienced as my top choice. It's really tough to tell if he was tired in his second race after more than a year in the barn. But if you look at its body of work relative to the rest of the other horses in this field, it really stands out. Raced on March the 5th, went back to the track for a workout on March the 10th. So that's kind of a quick turnaround between race and workout. And, Charles, who will join us tomorrow as the co-host, charming Charles, he said as a trainer that when those horses race and then they work out pretty much right in the aftermath of that, it's usually a pretty good sign of a horse that's kicking and raring to go. So we'll see if Charles is right about that today. Number 5, Nantasket Beach does have that early pace advantage over the rest of the field through the first half mile. The two best races this horse had when it was close to the front. I think it's going to be on the front and really benefits from that 7-horse not being around today. 7, Bridges Road, the 6-horse, is my third choice. The win, its lone win in all of its races, came first off the bench, which is exactly what you're going to see today. The horse that should get a comfortable trip for itself. And then finally, number 1, Street Vendor was a very tough call for me over the 9-horse. But the switch to Irad and the Rail Edge, I think, gives Street Vendor the little bit of a tip over Ballador, especially since the Ballador only raced on turf one time before, and that race did not go very well at all. So it's really going to have a form reversal here to benefit. I'm going to do a pick 4, just like you, 4-5, 1-5-3 with the 2-6, with the 2-5, 7 and 9, sticking in that hot dog, Terry. Mine hot dog might be one of those ballpark Franks, though. It's a little plumper than yours, I think. Race number 6 is next up for us on the card, of this 8-race card. Race 6, Terry, got I think a few scratches, one scratch in here. I do think that scratch does make a difference in race number 6, that 4-horse that you mentioned. 5-horse, 5 furlongs, all-weather track. So on Charles's favorite Tapeta surface, 5 furlongs on the synthetic stuff for this claiming 12,500 non-winners of 3 lifetime. Does favor early speed with a full 34% going gate to wire. You do get a small rail discount, so Sweet Coin Lady could get a little bit of a disadvantage here. Everything else plays fair, Terry. Once again, we find speed is an important factor. Meet the Beauty and Little Red Button. Those two will be battling it when the gates open and the Tapeta flies.
Yeah, it's true. It's anybody's guess who's going to get to that quarter pole first between those two. And if you look at the overlays, that's a really nice overlay on that 5. Simulated odds are like a little over even money.
Yeah,
it's
like 6-5, it looks like.
Yeah, and it's listed at 5-1 on the morning line. If you look at the percentage under the C zone, look at that 6, 87.76. That's pretty good. But all of them have pretty good percentages besides, except for the 3.
Yeah, that 6-horse there. I mean, it might not. I mean, it looks like the simulated odds say 99-1. Maybe you shouldn't get anywhere near the lead. But with that C-zone score, maybe sticking in the back end of your superfectas or your trifectas in there is just an add-on. See if that horse can indeed find its way into second or third. And if it goes off at 99-1, it sure as hell would blow up your exacted trifecta payouts. I don't think it'll go off at 99-1, but in the event it did. The 4-horse is, I think, a big scratch in here, Terry. What's interesting is if you look at this race, the 5-horse, which when it won, came from off the pace, so it's a closer. But it has some early speed. It's a left arrow horse, does have a pretty good advantage through the quarter-mile marker. Best combination of early speed and late speed. Thing is, every horse in here should really get a comfortable trip based upon its racing style, Terry. Even though it's a short field, it might be one of the most wide open races on the card today as to which one can actually win.
Yeah, I think so. I think that 4 really changed the way this race is going to run. Actually, the 4 was my top pick in this race, so I had to really adjust things. The 1 is my top pick, drops in class today, switches to a high percentage winning jockey. The trainer wins 28% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route to a sprint. Number 2, Hear the Roar. She won her last race at Gulfstream Park and has a high percentage winning trainer. Then the 3 is my third pick. She finished third versus similar in her last race, has the highest last race speed rating, and switches to a high percentage winning jockey. I like the 5 that you were talking about, Meet the Beauty. She has finished in the money in 4 out of 11 starts at Gulfstream Park. Winning one of the starts, and the distance won't be a problem. She's my long shot. I don't have any bet in this race.
No bet for Terry in the 6th. I like the 5 horse, your 4th pick, my first pick. Meet the Beauty is that left arrow horse, does have a pretty good early pace edge over everybody else to the first quarter mile. And a horse that's likely to improve its game in the second start after a layoff. Number 1, Sequin Lady, very consistent performer, unquestionably. But all of the best work comes on the all-weather track here, too. So this horse should do very well today. Likes the surface, likes the distance, properly priced. Should get a good, comfortable trip. Number 3, Solaire. This horse has been on the all-weather track 5 times. And if you look through the past performances, and 4 of those 5 races is pretty damn close to winning them all. Like I think within 3/4 of a length of winning 4 out of 5. And that was at Gulfstream at the 5.5 furlong track on the Tapeta. Number 2, Heir to the Roar is the lone P horse in here. Did win last time out versus some slowish fractions. And I think you're going to see a similar race in terms of times today. Should fit up nicely for that. Trifecta 1, 3, 5 with the 1, 5, with the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 for me. Probably should toss the 7 in there just on the back end, just in case that one, it always happens that way, Terry, right? The one that you leave out is the one that you wish you put in. Yeah, that happens way too much. Race 7, as we go through this card, we got just 2 more races to go. Race 7, this one is 6 furlongs, optional claiming $20,000, non-winners 1. Purse is 54 grand, so nice little purse for this race. Profile of a winner favors early speed. 36% of the horses go wire to wire. You do get a small inside 3 bias. 4 and out plays pretty close to par. This race does have a little bit of scratches in here that kind of really upset the card as well. Terry, it still doesn't really change who's going to get on the lead and fight it out.
That's right. The 2 and the 7 are probably going to go head to head to that quarter pole. And then if you look at the overlays, the 2 is supposed to be around even money, and it's listed on the morning line at 3-1. And the simulated odds on the 4 is 2-1, and it's listed at 3-1 on the morning line. And that's about it.
And it does look like every horse should be where it wants to be. So it's going to be, the best horse may win in race number 7. The 5 scratched out, as we mentioned. That is I think, and a 3. I think that the 5 scratching out being the lone PC could make a difference. Got a couple on the lead. They're going to battle it out for sure. Got to concern that they don't burn themselves. The 6 is a closer with the most late pace, as we said, Terry. Everybody should get the trip they're looking for. It'll come down to who's the best horse. You and I agree on the top 2, just in reverse order.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah. Do you need me to talk about something here?
Yeah, your picks, huh?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I lost my chain of thought there. Number 6, to a T. She ran the second versus similar in her last race, has a high percentage winning jockey, and has the highest race speed at today's at last race speed. And actually in this race, the 3 horse was my top pick, got scratched, so it made me change everything around again. So I like the 2 as my second pick, has an early foot, which should help, was beaten only 3/4 of a length versus similar in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer, and switches to a high percentage winning jockey. And then number 4, Awesome Anne Marie, finished third versus similar in her last race, and has a trainer who wins 18% of the races in sprints. And then number 7 is my long shot, she finished in the money in all 3 of her career starts, winning one and switches to a high percentage winning jockey. This is my bet race of the day for betting. So I bet $10 to win on the 6. I bet $3 exacta box with the 2-6. I bet a $2 exacta 6 on top with the 2-4-7, and then I bet $1 daily double with a 6 on top, and took it to the 3, 4, 5, 7, and 9.
Yeah, I don't see the daily double in here. Let me back this up because you want the 6 up here, right? The 6. Whoops, I don't know. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I screwed that up. Hold on. Don't want to do that because that is all automatically programmed into what we're doing. So you have a double in here too, Terry? What's your double?
Yeah, you know what? I don't. I had to eliminate the double. So
okay, so you don't have the double. All
no.
right. All right, so he does have that $2 exacta. This is 6 over the 2, 4, and 7. And for me in this particular race, Terry, I like the 2 horse as my top pick, which is Sonicus. Did run better pace numbers through the first half mile and just versus many of these last time out at 6.5 furlongs. In fact, had to lead against most of these at 6 furlongs last time out. So I think going back to 6 furlongs in the second start off the distance is going to help in the second start after a layoff. Number 6, To a T, was the favorite versus most of these horses in here last time out and beat them, despite the fact that jockey Jose Ortiz lost the whip. The concern for me is this horse is going to be a closer in a very short field. My experience has been that speed tends to win in these type of races. You know, we also learned something too, if you remember correctly, Terry, if you recall. In these 5-horse fields, if you're playing the contests, remember what the guy told us? Always take the longest price horse on the board. That's going to be the 7, it looks like to me, Terry. We both have him in there as our 4th pick, but that's what they tend to play. Yep. And then Awesome Anne Marie is the 4-horse, is my 3rd choice. Slightly beat the 2-horse last time out. It's very notable to me, though, that Irad rode the 4 last time and is going to get off the 4 to ride the 2 this time. I tells me he thinks that the 2-horse is a little bit better than the 4-horse, especially at the distance. He rode both of them. He rode the 4 last time. Anyway, and then the 7, that one is Parisian Vibe. That one, as we mentioned, it's going to be up front with the 2, Terry. And according to the folks who play the handicapping contests, the one you got to play, the longest shot in a 5-horse field, that's going to be the 7. I'm going to do a double. I am not out of money, I don't think. 2 with the 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 in that last leg. Which brings us to the last race of the day. I got all mixed up when I was trying to say 2. 1 mile and a 16th on the turf, like we started. 3rd time on the card. A mile and a 16th on the turf. There aren't any running style biases. It's 50-50 across the board. Anybody can win from any position. And the post positions are pretty fair too. In race number 6, our friend Christopher D'Souza, go back to race number 6 here, Mr. Terry. He likes the 7-horse in race number 6. The 7 being Little Red Button. That's a little bit of a price there too. So hopefully that one comes home for you, Christopher. Again, pay attention to the picks that are going to the comment sections. A lot of times they do very, very well. Last race of the day, Terry, real quick, let me see how long we have to the second race. We've got a couple of minutes. And Gulfstream Park, 1 minute to post is really 5. So race number 8 is that mile and a 16th, as we mentioned, on the turf. Optional claiming 35 grand. The purse is 39, Terry. If we take a look at what the simulations and the C-Zone tell us, looks like there's some competition for the lead.
Yeah, the 2 and the 3 and maybe the 7, they're all going to try to go for that lead to the quarter pole. The 3 is a small overlay. It's supposed to be a little bit over 6-1 simulated odds, and it's listed at 8-1. And then the 5 supposed to be less than 2-1, and it's listed or less than and then it's listed at 3.5-1. As far as the percentage, Z-Zone percentage, almost all of them have a high number there. So
yeah, again, a race shape that fits everybody kind of in here, and that's what we're probably going to see when we look at the way to the winner zone, the winner circle. 8-horse scratched, 1-horse scratched. You got one over here by itself. Lone Speed, something everybody's looking for. Everybody else kind of wants to be in the middle or the back. So early on, that 2-horse should get its way. And the question is, can it keep its way all the way to the finish line, Terry? What do you think? Now, you don't even have it in your pick, so you think not.
No, I like the 5 as my first pick. He's finished in the money in his last 5 races, and he's won one of those starts. He has the best turf speed among today's starters. People Force the 3 is my second pick. He won his last race at Gulfstream Park, has a decent workout on March 11th. I like the 7 as my third pick, finished third versus similar in his last race, and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I like the 4 as my long shot. He's a closer who won his last race at Gulfstream Park and has a high percentage winning trainer. I have no bet here because I'm out of money.
He's flat cash. He's empty pocketed. Rabbit ears. Cosmic Speculation broke his maiden at the highest maiden special weight level of all of this crew. And the times last time out were just better than the rest of this field. So if it can just run the same race it ran last time out, I know the sim odds say 99-1, but the fractions say it should be a lot lower than that. Number 9, Max Swagger. Going to take a little bit of a price here. Won the first time it tried Lasix. The first time it ran on turf. Trainer Joseph Safi Jr. wins at 31%. The second time around with Lasix, big number there, although the workouts between races weren't all that impressive for me. Number 5, Mr. Abario, top last race speed figure. But it's interesting to me, again, when you look at some of these jockeys moving around, Paco Lopez rode the 5 and the 6. It stays on the 6. A little bit of a jockey downgrade today. Hopefully the horse can overcome that. And then 7, the Cozen one was a tough call for me over that 3-horse Terry. But trainer Claudio Gonzalez, 28% of the time with horses making the second start for him, which is what's going to happen today, and has a really sharp workout between races. I'm going to do trifecta 259 with the 29 with the 2, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Race 2 is about to kick off, Terry. We have our pick 4 is going right here. All the horses are in the gate. Well, for the most part, a couple, one or two left to pop in there. The 1 horse is your favorite at 8-5. The 3 horse at 5-2 is your second choice. And then looking at the 4 horse, a little bit of a, he went down in odds to 2-1 as well. Based upon the opening right here, Terry, let's see who got the lead. It's kind of a wide angle view right now, so it's kind of hard to tell. It looks to me like the 6 on the outside might be the leader right now, but that horse is way, way, way wide. But it did have a shot to get it the lead, so it's not like it's a surprise, small percentage. You have the 4 horse and then the 1 horse. So the 4 has taken charge right now, which has been bet down from 6-1 morning line to 2-1. The 1 horse on the rail, Bullet on Tap with a nice hold from jockey Edward Zayas. The whole field's really not all that far apart. I'd say length separates the nose, maybe a length and a half of the leader. Probably 2 lengths to the tail of the 2, which is in second place. They run through the opening quarter, no times yet, but the 1 horse is starting to make a little bit of a move up. Pretty competitive between it and the 4 horse. Those 2 are duking it out right now. Heads bobbing, boom, 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 boom. The jockey's out on the 2, so I think you can maybe write that one off. I can't really tell for sure. The 1 and the 4 are still kind of holding their cards to see which one is going to come. Neither jockey has really asked for anything, although the reins are a little bit looser on the 4 horse than they are on the 1 horse. And they're both starting to head to the whip. The 4 horse does have command right now. The 3 horse is pulling up alongside Terry. Just looking at the race right now, it looks to me like the 3 has the most momentum, but does he have enough to catch that 4? Indeed, he does. He just poked his nose ahead. The 4 horse turned its head to the right to see what in the hell is going on there. He's not going to fight back. So it's 3 all the way to the finish line. 3, 4, 2, and 1. I thought you could write that 2 horse off, but you couldn't. So 3, 4, 2, and 1. Terry, we're both alive in our pick 4, and it was your top pick. So good job there, my man.
All right, thanks. Yeah, nice 5-2-2. Went off at 5-2. So
5-2-2. It's got one of them little dresses on the back end there.
Yeah.
Well, that would be interesting to watch a horse run like that, wouldn't it be?
It would, yeah.
Let's see. Manager. Okay, hold on. Chris, like the 6 horse in race 8. Let's go back to race 8 there. Christopher, he likes the 6 horse. That one is triple start, surface, turquoise covering eyes, face, turquoise covering eyes. And then the manager harness icon known around the world. Fact, the only, I don't know what you mean by that, the manager. What can you maybe explain to that a little bit for us so we kind of have a sense of what you're talking about right there?
I think he's advertising.
Yeah, he's advertising. Yeah, but I don't even know who the manager is. He's not even telling us what he's advertising. So that's not good advertising, right? You got to maybe, yeah, I don't know. Yes, the 3 horses. Melvin is now advanced in his pick 5 through, let's see, his pick 5 2 horses in, 1, 2, 3. Now 7, 5, 8, and 9 with the 2, 5. But that 5 on the back end is going to be the key to your pick 5 there, Melvin.
Way to go, Melvin.
Indeed. Well, we want him to get all the way through, especially with that nice 2 horse at good odds to start it off. Our full picks for the cards look like this, Terry. We're through 2 races. We're alive on our pick 4. That pick 6, that $400,000 carryover, starts over in the next race. Here are our pick 6 tickets. You'd be smart to put in yours as well. Terry's going to single the 7 in the first leg, race 3. So am I. Terry's going to go 6, 7 in the second leg. I'm just going to go with the 6. Terry's going to go with the 1, 4, 5. I'm going to go with the 4, 5. Terry's going to go with the 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to go with the 1, 3, and 5. He's going to single the 6 in race number 7. I'm going to go 2, 6 in race number 7. In race number 8, Terry's going to go 3 deep with the 3, 5, and 7. I'm going to go 4 deep with the 2, 5, 7, and 9. That's our pick 6 for these big carryovers today. Terry, if you're going to play some Penn National tonight, the best place to get your picks for free is at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. You'll see a link down in the description below. Kindly use that so they know that where you're coming from. Again, tonight, make sure you tune in for Horse Center with Julie and Sean. It'll be another fantastic show with Jose Santos Jr., one of the top young jockey agents out there today. Terry, any final thoughts before we get up and get out of here today?
Yeah, if you like what you've seen here or want to get our picks or maybe Melvin's picks, go and subscribe to YouTube and hit the little bell so you get thumbs up and all that stuff. Hit the bell to get notified. Go to our social sites, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Let's see what else. Twitter,
all of them. Facebook,
yeah,
Twitter,
all of them.
Whatever's out there.
Give us a thumbs up there and or likes, and also any comments. And you can let your family know and all your friends to come to this website or to this show because they are going to have a lot of fun just like we do.
Indeed. We have a lot of fun, Terry. Indeed. Of course, tomorrow, Terry will be off tomorrow, and I will be with Charles, I think, tomorrow. I haven't heard from him, so I don't know if he's made it back yet. Maybe he's walking from Las Vegas to Kentucky. Tough to tell. But we're going to do Gulfstream again tomorrow, probably about 20 minutes before post. We're trying to line up a little bit closer to post time so we can have a couple of races while we're live streaming the track that we're making our picks on. And then Saturday, we'll be back for whatever the largest carryover is for Saturday, whether it be a pick 4, pick 5, pick 6, whatever track that's at. I'm going to try to hit some jackpots on Saturday. So Jackpot Saturday is what we'll call it going forward. And then Friday, a really big day. We're going to prep Tom and I for Foreign Fridays for the Dubai World Cup. Some fantastic racing out in the desert. Tom and I hopefully can pick some fantastic prices and some good winners for that. So you're going to want to tune in for that at 1 o'clock Eastern on Friday. Of course, as Terry mentioned, the best way to make sure you don't miss any of that is to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and all that stuff on our social sites, Terry. No matter what it is that you're doing on this, what did I call it? Hump Day, Hay Wednesday? Yeah, Hump Day, Hay Wednesday. No matter what you're doing, we hope that you get all of God's favor and that everything that you do ends up in
the winner's circle. And I hope the 5 wins in the 5th race for Melvin.
Indeed. Well, we got to hope the other ones get there along the way. And look, I got the 5 on, so that's got to be an omen for you. Good luck with that, Melvin. Have a fantastic day. Look forward to joining everybody again tomorrow.